Hello, my name is Dr. Jeff Davis. The program is Feed My Sheep. Jesus said in John 21:17, if you love me, feed my sheep. Today's program is entitled, God is in Charge. And I want to read to you a passage from Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Jehovah as the watercourses. He turneth it whithersoever he will. The heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, and he turns it wherever he wills. God is in charge. You know, we're living in a time of unrest. Our world, sadly, is not getting better. We have more technological advances than we ever had before. We are able to access more information in a swifter, shorter period of time than ever before. We have made advances and strides in medicine more than we ever have before. And yet, with all of these advances and all of the things that we're able to do better, we're still not better. And part of the challenge is that leadership, people that have been given the responsibility to exercise leadership for groups of people, leadership has not always done what is best for the people. We have been bombarded with leaders in this day and age who sometimes feel like leadership is the goal for personal accomplishment. It's the place to get your needs met. It's the place to do the things that you want to do. Now, I'm a father, been married a long time, and I've raised children. And one of the things I can tell you is that even though I knew that I was the leader of the house, I also understood that that position did not mean that I had a bunch of servants. It meant that I had a responsibility. And part of that responsibility was making sure that that household was okay. God is in charge. And even though at times we may see a boss who really doesn't think about you or think about the company, but it's selfish, or maybe we've got someone that's an elected official who's more so concerned with the politics of the day than the people. Maybe we've got someone who is a CEO of a corporation or head of a nonprofit organization. It doesn't matter the leadership position. There are times when people who are in positions of leadership and authority do not understand that leadership is serving others. I want to encourage you today because Proverbs 21, verse 1 tells us that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. The book of Daniel is a great historical book for the believer, and there were a couple of kings that are mentioned in that book, and we don't have time to go through all of them, but there was King Nebuchadnezzar, King Darius. One of the things that was prevalent during those days is that the king felt like they were just short of being God. They felt like they had the responsibility to do whatever they wanted to do, and they felt like because they were the top person on the food chain, that they didn't have to be accountable to anyone for anything. And yet, time and time again, as we look through the scriptures, we find that even though there are kings that men have lifted up, and there are men that other men lift up, ultimately, God is still in charge. And this isn't to say that God's coming down and he's raining down on kings and destroying them, because that's typically not what you see. On the contrary, God uses even the faults in kings. Look at Pharaoh. Pharaoh came after Israel, but God used Pharaoh's own desire to destroy and to oppress to prove to Israel that he was God. The heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord. God is in charge. So when you don't know what to do, when I don't know what to do, the Bible tells us to pray for those that are in authority, pray for leadership, not pray that God would get them, but pray that their hearts would be open so that God may use them for his glory. Well, thank you for watching our program. If you want more information about the ministry of Feed My Sheep, visit us at www.drjeffdavis.org. Again, that's www.drjeffdavis.org. And so until next time, I want you to continue loving Jesus. I want you to continue to feed my sheep. Go out and be a blessing.